Chapter 1. Will it affect the balance too much? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Early September, Daxia Economic Center, Xianhai City. Although it has fallen into the night, Zhenkai City is still brightly lit and the nightlife has just begun. In a youth apartment on the outskirts of Xianhai City, Lu Kong was sitting by the bed, holding his mobile phone and talking on the phone. Hey, Mom, this month's salary has been paid, and I have already transferred 5,000 to you. A tired but concerned voice came from the other end of the phone. How many times have I told you, keep your money for yourself, and I will find a way on my own. This is the mess left by your father and I, how can it be blamed on you? Lu Kong looked calm and looked at the neon lights outside the window. Without you, where did I come from? Dad is gone now. I am the backbone of the family. I will pay back this money little by little. You are already so old, and if you are left to work hard outside alone, I don't care. How can it be? There was silence on the other end of the phone for a long time, and finally a sigh came from the phone, with a slightly choked voice. Oh, it's all your dad and I's fault. How can I blame you? Who would have thought that such a serious infectious disease would suddenly occur? Things are unpredictable, and this is how fate is. Listening to Lu Kong's calm words, the other end of the phone fell silent again. After a long time, a voice came, then take good care of yourself over there, remember to eat on time, and wear more clothes when it's cold. Listening to his mother's babble, Lu Kong did not interrupt, but felt warm in his heart. After warning for a long time, the other end of the phone continued, it's getting late, so you can have a good rest. Mom won't disturb you. Well, Mom, please also pay attention to rest. Okay, I understand, just hang up first. Good. Lu Kong hung up the phone and placed it next to the bed. He stared at the neon lights outside the window for a long time, then lay back on the bed and slowly exhaled. The changes in the past few years have made him mentally and physically exhausted even in his 2 lifetimes. Originally, his parents had opened a small company and the income was pretty good. He lived a happy life, but 4 years ago, a serious infectious disease suddenly broke out, and the company went bankrupt and owed tens of millions of dollars in debt. His father could not bear such a blow and committed suicide by jumping off a building, leaving only him and his mother, who were still in college at the time. The huge blow caused my mother to have a lot of gray hair overnight, and she looked very haggard. But she was stronger than her father and survived. According to her, your dad is gone. If I leave too, wouldn't this burden fall on you? How can I let it go? She works multiple jobs every day just to pay off her debts. Although Lu Kong asked her to go to bed early just now, he knew that she would still work the night shift at night. He didn't want his mother to have a hard time, but there was nothing he could do about it. After graduation, he found a job with a salary of 9,000 new Taiwan dollars, which was not bad given the difficulty in finding employment for contemporary graduates. The pressure of life in Xianhai City is not small. He left 4,000 for necessary expenses and transferred all the other 5,000 to his mother, hoping to do his part. Thinking back to the exhaustion of the past few years, Lu Kong couldn't help but smile bitterly. He was transported into this world, but he is the only one who has traveled through time to such an extent. But he was also open-minded. You have died once, what else is there to be afraid of? Isn't it just debt? At most it's just a little bit. At this moment, a majestic sound came from the sky. Humans of Yuanxing, the universe server has been connected with you, and the first batch of public beta qualifications are now being issued. Lu Kong was startled, sat up and looked out the window. Broadcast? Someone is playing a prank? What about the universe server? I took out the core of the multiverse. How should you respond? Just when Lu Kong was having fun, his left wrist suddenly hurt. Lu Kong quickly looked down, then he saw a complex circle of runes appear on his wrist. Runes surrounded it, flashing white light, like a bracelet, imprinted on Lu Kong's wrist. Soon, the white light disappeared, and the runes gradually disappeared into Lu Kong's skin. The runes and white light just now seemed like a dream. Lu Kong was completely stunned. What's the situation? Thinking of that majestic voice, he felt a chill in his back. Is what I just said true? Lu Kong didn't have time to think too much when the majestic voice sounded again. A total of 20 million places for the first public beta have been distributed. Public testers can enter the game at any time, please check the specific rules yourself. Humans of Yuan Star, I hope you can break out of your home star and contribute to the defense of the universe. Liu Kong no longer regarded the sound as a prank. What this voice said made Liu Kong's thoughts swirl. He looked down at his wrist, and with a thought, the rune ring appeared again. Is this a public beta qualification? Is this rune ring connected to the game? This game seems unusual. It can actually allow humans to break out of the Yuan Star and enter the universe. You know, Yuan Xing's technology is pretty good now, but it has only developed a manned space station, and it is still early to enter the universe. The final defense of the universe gave Liu Kong a sense of absurdity. The universe is so huge, does it still need their protection? How do they protect? Liu Kong understands that a person's limitations lie in his vision and thinking. As an ordinary human who has never even set foot in the universe, it is probably difficult for him to understand these things, but all this should be found in the so-called game, right? Liu Kong looked at his rune ring and his mind moved again. A panel appeared in front of him. Name, Liu Kong, race, galaxy humanoid, occupation, not selected, level, 1, strength, 7, endurance, 7, agility, 7, intelligence, 7, skills, none, soul talent, drop item designation, garbled. You can see the monster's drop list and specify the items in the drop list. Rules, click to view details. Enter the game, yes/no. The information on the panel seems to be no different from that of a normal online game, but when he saw the soul talent column, his eyes suddenly widened. Drop item designation. What kind of universe joke? Before the drastic changes at home, he also played online games. As a non-African, the drop rate is a permanent pain in his heart. However, specifying the dropped items, is this really not an administrator privilege? This means that as long as the monster has something in the drop list, he can drop it 100%. This is a game on the universe server. Should this kind of talent really exist? Will this affect the balance too much? Oh, it's me who affects the balance. That's fine. Looking at the garbled code behind the drop designation, Liu Kong was thoughtful. He felt that he roughly understood how this talent came about, probably because he was a traverser. His soul did not originally belong to this universe. When the character of the universe server was established, this talent was based on the soul, so there was a loophole. This loophole is good. This is a game related to the fate of the entire Yuanxing, and it will definitely make money. By then, he can pay off his debts, let his mother no longer work so hard, and live a good life. His breathing was a little rapid. Don't worry, don't worry. The specific situation of this game is not clear yet. Take a look at the rules first. If there is no danger, enter the game quickly. Chapter 2 cpdd. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Liu Kong calmed down and clicked on the details of the rules. Point 1. The ratio of game time to real time is 2 minutes and 1.2 seconds. Items such as property upgrades and equipment obtained in the game can be brought into reality, free. You can enter the game for 12 hours every 24 hours, and the time can be freely allocated. The unused time of the day can be saved, and you can advance future game time. The specific advance time is determined by the player's level and attributes, currently 48 hours. Point 4. The game currency is connected to reality, and all financial institutions on Yuanxing are bound to the Cosmic Bank. 5. The real world has been invaded by magic, and monsters in the game appear randomly. There are hundreds of various rules. Each of these rules is like a nuclear bomb, opening mushroom clouds in Liu Kong's heart again and again. If it is really like what the rulebook says, then Yuanxing has entered a new era. From the moment the game starts, the entire human society may undergo earth-shaking changes. Liu Kong took another look at his soul talent and couldn't help thinking about it. With such a talent, should I set my goal higher? But it doesn't matter, we'll talk about the goal later. Enter the game first. Liu Kong chose to enter the game. A white light suddenly appeared and enveloped him. Liu Kong was in a trance, floating higher and higher. In the outside world, Liu Kong's body seemed to be wrapped in a white light ball, floating in the air. With a flash of light, Liu Kong appeared in an ancient square. The ground of the square was made of bronze, and there was an endless starry sky around. Rays of light floated out from the stars, and finally all gathered near the square, forming a gorgeous aurora. Lu Kong's attention was attracted by the 5 statues in the center of the square. On the far left was a man in armor and holding a giant sword. To the right were a man in leather armor holding a longbow, a man in leather armor holding 2 daggers, a man in a robe holding a staff, and a man in a robe holding a scepter. Lu Kong was a little surprised to find that the faces of these men were all his own. When Lu Kong looked at the statue, some information appeared in his sight: warrior, basic profession; archer, basic profession; assassin, basic profession; mage, basic profession; priest, basic profession. Below this information, there are more details. Lu Kong clicked on it and found that these professions are similar to those in ordinary online games. Are there also these professions in the cosmic online game? Lu Kong scratched his head. He thought there would be some special professions that are more powerful. However, these are basic professions, which means there are other types of advanced professions. Lu Kong's thoughts were flying, but he soon became too lazy to think too much. He hasn't come into contact with them yet, so he will talk about it when he comes into contact with them. With a strong soul talent, for him, no matter what profession he plays, the final achievement will not be bad. Before, he always played warriors in online games. There is a saying he likes very much. Heaven is to the left, warriors are to the right. He hopes that the warriors will be passionate when charging. Well, actually, warriors are more tanky and less likely to die. When he played games before, he also played squishy characters like mages. Every time he fights monsters, he will be killed if he attracts too many by mistake. He is still suitable for this kind of mindless and reckless profession, as Lu Kong chose the warrior. The huge bronze statue turned into a stream of light and merged into Lu Kong's body. Lu Kong felt warm all over, as if he was soaking in a hot spring. A mechanical prompt sounded. Ding! You become a warrior, strength +2, endurance +2. Lu Kong's eyes lit up. There is such a benefit. No wonder he felt that his strength seemed to have improved a little. Before Lu Kong had time to think more, the mechanical voice sounded again. Congratulations to the player for taking office. It is detected that the player is a Yuanqing human, and the planet he is on is located in the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way. Next, the player will be sent to the Orion Novice continent. The player races on this continent are Yuanqing humans, Gunaxing humans, Bangshuangsing stone people and Haimu star tiger people. I hope the player will fight for Yuanqing humans. Hearing this voice, Lu Kong was stunned. Wait, haven't you chosen a name yet? He has already thought of a cool and awesome online name, Mtlnovel. Why don't you give him a chance to change his name? There is also a novice continent. Isn't it a novice village? And why are there other races? What does it mean to fight for the humans of Yuanqing? We have to go to war. Lu Kong's mind was full of question marks. However, the next moment, the square suddenly disappeared, and Lu Kong's body fell directly. He looked at the endless aurora below, and his heart skipped a beat. Isn't it teleportation? Is this how it is teleported? Passing through the gorgeous aurora, Lu Kong suddenly saw a huge continent. There are mountains of inestimable height on the continent, giant trees that reach the sky, endless flames, etc. In the south of the entire continent, there is endless black fog flowing, and it seems that endless evil is brewing in it. In other areas, there are also places where black fog appears. Seeing these black fogs, Lu Kong instinctively feels horrible and dangerous. He continued to falling into the sea. On the right side of the continent, Lu Kong then discovered that there were countless islands in the sea. These islands are so dense that they look like stars. As he descended, the islands kept getting bigger in front of him. Lu Kong found that these were not islands, but huge continents. Wait, even these islands are so huge. How big is the huge continent in the center? Lu Kong took a breath and made an important contribution to global warming. Lu Kong's target was one of the continents. This should be the Orion Novice continent mentioned by the system before. When he approached the continent, he thought of something. Wait. There is no parachute. Wouldn't he be dead if he fell like this? Just when Lu Kong was terrified, a white light appeared. His body became light. When the white light disappeared, he found himself in a square. There were exclamations everywhere. Wow! Is this a space game? This is too real. Nonsense, This is no longer something that science fiction can explain, it is simply theology, a game created by gods, of course it is real. Are you looking for a CP? Let's play together. cpdd. Smart people have already improved themselves. Liu Kong found that there were players wearing grey cloth clothes everywhere around him, both men and women. The oldest seemed to be in their 50s and 60s, and the youngest might be only 14 or 15 years old. Liu Kong looked down and found that he was also wearing the same grey cloth clothes. He looked at the attributes, and all the cloth clothes added up had no attributes. Liu Kong, 6. In addition to the cloth clothes, he also had a shabby iron sword in his hand. It was really shabby, with many gaps on the sword and rust. The damage was only increased by 1 point. Okay, the novice artifact is in hand. However, this game is worthy of being a space server, and it seems to be exactly the same as the real world. Liu Kong touched his body, and it even had body temperature. Liu Kong frowned, his expression serious. Is there a harmony system here? He shook his head quickly. Liu Kong, and Fang Dudu are sworn enemies. Liu Kong checked his panel again. He found that after changing his job to a warrior, he had an extra skill, heavy attack, level 1 launch a powerful attack, causing 120% damage. Well, I got a magic skill, this wave is directly invincible, okay? Liu Kong complained in his heart, then integrated into the player group and walked out of the square. I am a newbie writing a book, a little nervous brothers and sisters. If you think it is okay, move your little hands, click on the free reminder, and send some free gifts. Little newbie thanks you here. Chapter 3. Is this crappy game playable? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Liu Kong found that there were many buildings made of wood and rocks in the village. Of course, there were also indigenous people. What surprised Liu Kong was that the skin of these indigenous people was silver. There was no silver-skinned race on Yuanxing. Not humans from Yuanxing. Are they races from other planets? As for whether these were NPCs without wisdom, Liu Kong didn't think so. After all, this universe game was too weird. Even NPCs probably had their own personalities. Like many players, he tried to communicate with these silver-skinned humans. However, no matter who they were or what they said, these indigenous people didn't seem to care. They just took a look at the players and then pretended that the players didn't exist. There was a grumpy strong man who couldn't help it and tried to forcibly pull an indigenous person. Then, the strong man was slapped into a mosaic by the indigenous people. Everyone was honest on the spot, not to mention triggering the task. Even the conversation was difficult. Except for the shop owners who sold equipment, potions and other items, no one was willing to communicate with the players. Liu Kong also tried to get tasks from the shop owners, but when they heard that he was not a buyer, the shop owners changed their faces and kicked him out. Others also tried a lot, but nothing came of it. Liu Kong thought that it might be because of insufficient reputation or lack of prerequisites. He could only choose to kill monsters to level up first. The village has 4 entrances and exits, in the 4 directions of southeast, northwest and northeast. As an oriental person, Liu Kong of course chose the east. When he arrived at the entrance of the east village, Liu Kong saw a large area of farmland outside. Various crops were planted in the farmland. Some of them were recognized by Liu Kong, which were crops that Yuanxing could see, and some of them were not recognized by Liu Kong. And among these farmlands, there were many big black rats moving. These big black rats were about the same size as dogs, with scarlet eyes and sharp teeth. They were not easy to mess with at first glance. Many players were fighting with them. The scene was simply one word: extremely tragic. There were also players shouting at the entrance of the village. Team up to fight the demonized rats. Come and fight the rats together. These rats are too weak and hard to fight. Priest, please form a demonized rat team. Let's chat privately. Liu Kong walked out of the village with a calm expression and cast a detection spell. Demonized rat, level 1. Life, 100. Attack, 5. Introduction. It was originally an ordinary rat. After being corroded by the magic energy, it became a violent and bloodthirsty demonized rat. Magic energy. Liu Kong suddenly thought of the black fog he saw before coming to this continent. At the same time, he remembered that the rules seemed to say that when the magic energy invaded reality, monsters would appear. Is it this magic energy? Looking at the chilling appearance of the demonized rat, Lu Kong muttered in his heart, this magic energy seems to be a bit scary. However, it has nothing to do with him now. Lu Kong was too lazy to think about it. The next point is the key point. Lu Kong rubbed his hands and clicked on the drop list of the big black rat with some anticipation. Let me see if there are any good things. The list appeared in front of Lu Kong. The items were arranged from high to low, with white items at the top and gray items at the bottom. Lu Kong flipped through the list, and there were about dozens of items. Gray items were basically rat teeth, rat eyes, rat fur, and the like. White items were better, with several pieces of equipment, including cloth armor, leather armor, and mail armor, as well as a weapon, rusty great sword, normal, attack +5, required level 1. Drop rate, 0.8%. This attack power is much stronger than the small broken sword in Lu Kong's hand. But for this thing, the drop rate is only 0.8%. Is this broken game playable? In addition to this equipment, there are some white sundries. One thing made Lu Kong's eyes light up. White small bag, normal, increase storage space by 10 grids, drop rate, 0.09%. Lu Kong was a little surprised. This is a good thing. He just noticed that his initial backpack only had 20 grids. There aren't many things that can be put in there, but in addition to the backpack that comes with it, there are 4 grids that can be equipped with 4 bags. The white small bag is placed on the grid. If there are 4 such small bags, you can directly add 40 grids of backpack space. The space has suddenly become much larger. As for the drop rate, Lu Kong doesn't want to say more. It can only be said that this is a broken game. What level of luck can drop such a small bag? Lu Kong didn't choose to drop items directly, but checked other big black rats again. He found that the drop list of each big black rat is similar, but there are some differences. For example, there are some differences in equipment. More than half of the big black rats will not drop backpacks. Not only that, Lu Kong found that the drop rate of this game is really outrageous. Even the gray items with the highest drop rate have a drop rate of only about 50%. In other words, if you kill a monster, there is a 50% chance that you will get nothing except experience. Who can stand this? Can I specify the drop? That's fine. Lu Kong also found that maybe it was because the big black rat was at a low level. Lu Kong could only specify one item to drop at a time. He originally thought about dropping multiple items at a time, but he found that he thought too much. Lu Kong thought about it and decided to get a set of equipment first. It would be easier to fight monsters this way. As for the backpack, let's talk about it later. Since many monsters have this thing anyway. Lu Kong chose a big black rat and chose the old sword to drop. Then he rushed up with the small broken sword to fight with the big black rat. He found that this game was too real. Not only was there pain, but the monster would actually dodge attacks. And the big black rat had good teeth, and it bit Lu Kong so hard that he doubted his life. He only had 90 HP in total, but fortunately his attack power was higher than that of the big black rat. He had a total of 9 strength points, and each point could add 1 attack point, plus the 1 point added by the small broken sword, a total of 10 attack points. It was nearly twice as high as that of the big black rat. Even so, Lu Kong spent 70 points of blood before he killed the big black rat. The main reason was that he had never fought before, and it was his first time to chop someone with a sword. The big black rat was not a martial artist and could dodge, so Lu Kong missed several times. Having said that, he did dodge several times, so it was a draw. As the big black rat died, a white light ball emerged and floated over its body. This made several players nearby look over. Did a white item drop? Fuck, so lucky. Is this real? I can actually see a white item drop in my lifetime. That they knew how bad the drop rate of this shit was. Many people killed more than a dozen big black rats and only dropped a few gray items. They all doubted their lives. Unexpectedly, they saw someone dropping a white item now. This made them envious. Some people even got jealous. This game is about your own strength in reality. If the novice village was not in peaceful mode, I'm afraid many people would go up to grab it. Lu Kong noticed the attention of the players next to him and frowned slightly. Fortunately, the novice village is in peaceful mode. Otherwise, with his current strength, he can't stop so many players from snatching it. However, according to his drop rate, when he leaves the novice village, he will have taken off long ago and will not be afraid of others at all. As for reality, There is a rule in the rule book that in order to protect the privacy of players, player information is protected by the universe server. Unless the player himself is exposed in reality, otherwise, it will definitely not be found. In this case, what else does Liu Kong have to worry about? Chapter 4, Damn, there's a cheat. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Liu Kong picked up the white light ball, and the white light ball immediately turned into a big sword and entered his backpack. Land and air are directly equipped. The big sword was larger than his small broken sword, almost 1 meter and 60 meters long. Fortunately, his strength is not bad and he can swing it. In the envious eyes of others, Liu Kong sat down to rest. After all, the blood loss was too great. With 20 points of blood left, he dared to die as long as he dared to fight. Monsters, it is stated in the rule book that the penalty for death is very high. If you die for the first time, you will be unable to go online for an hour. The more people die, the longer it takes. This is too hurtful for the early stages of the game. Soon, Liu Kong discovered the pitfalls of this game. Sit down to recover blood, and recover 1 point in 1 second. This means that it will take more than a minute for Liu Kong to regain full health. The efficiency of killing monsters is too bad. No wonder these players formed a team. When the blood volume recovered, others had already stopped paying attention to Liu Kong. After all, everyone is busy fighting monsters. Liu Kong found a random monster and continued to specify the drop. Warriors can equip mail armor. The defense of mail armor is higher than that of leather armor and cloth armor. Liu Kong, of course, chose mail armor. Then he rushed towards the big black rat. After equipping the big sword, the attack range becomes larger, and the area where the big black mouse can avoid is much smaller. In addition, the attack power has also become stronger. Liu Kong only lost 50 points of blood this time and killed one, and another white light group appeared. In the envious eyes of the players nearby, Liu Kong picked up the designated dropped mail chest protector. After being equipped, the sense of security on land and air will be greatly enhanced. After resting to regain his blood, Liu Kong continued to fight monsters. It didn't take long for Liu Kong to remove all his chest protectors, hand guards, leg guards, boots, belt, wrists and other parts. The whole body is covered with white mail equipment, and Liu Kong's armor has been increased by 23 points. But what made Liu Kong a little confused was that he originally thought that with his current armor, the demonized rat could no longer break through his defense. As a result, he still lost 2 points of blood after taking 1 bite from those big black rats. From this point of view, the damage reduction method of armor is different from what Liu Kong originally thought, but it doesn't matter. At least he loses a lot less blood now, and his efficiency in killing monsters has skyrocketed. Every time you hit a monster, you will only lose 20 points of blood at most. He can kill 3 monsters at once and then sit back and recover. This monster killing efficiency is comparable to that of a small team of 3, and he still has the experience alone. Every monster in Liu Kong dropped a white item, and everyone onlookers looked confused. What the hell, who is this person? Several white items dropped in a row. Someone retorted, what does continuous dropping mean? I have been paying attention to him since just now. This person drops white items every time. Everyone's mind is filled with questions. Damn it, there's a glitch. This game can't be played. There's a glitch. Someone was immediately furious. That's right, we worked our butts off and couldn't lose anything. Why did he lose so many things? Is it because he's lucky? Is this a matter of luck? Is this the husband of goddess luck? Many people's eyes turned red with envy, but there was nothing they could do. He could only watch as Liu Kong kept dropping equipment. At this time, someone thought of something and his face changed slightly. I heard that some players have soul talents. This person's explosion rate is so high. Isn't it because of his talent and luck? Hearing this, many people were stunned. It's possible. I heard that few people have the talent, and it's a talent that increases the drop rate. Why does he take advantage of all the good things? At this time, a young man with a long camera walked towards Liu Kong with a smile on his face and a flattering expression. Brother, how about we form a team together? If you have more experience, just give me some equipment when the time comes. I'm not demanding too much, just a white outfit, just a white outfit. Everyone else reacted when they saw this. Brother. Look at me, look at me. I'm a mage, and my output is high. I'll give you 1/3 of your experience, so take me with you. Brother, I'll take a quarter. I'm also a mage. Fuck. Can this be rolled? The mage who had just shouted was immediately furious. If looks could kill, he would slice up anyone who opened the book. Brother, can you take my sister with you? My sister can run with you. Brother, sister 36D. Gentle, sensible and not clingy. Take me with you, okay. All the men and women nearby wanted Lukong to group them. Apart from anything else, getting a piece of equipment is a bonus. It can greatly improve their combat effectiveness. This is a game that affects reality. If there is an opportunity to improve, most people will not miss it. Facing the crazy players, Liu and Kong felt a little numb, especially the women who were running around. He took a look and found that some of them were really good looking. These female fairies want to mess with my Taoist mind. Still running, isn't this completely exposing his information? Unless he is sure it is safe enough, he will not expose his information. Liu Kong struggled to squeeze out of the encirclement and shouted, "Don't make any noise, everyone. If there is a lot of equipment, I will take it to the square and set up a stall to sell it." After saying that, Liu Kong ignored others and ran to the side to continue killing monsters. Liu Kong will not consider forming a team for the time being. With his current equipment, the efficiency of fighting monsters in a team is not much different from that of fighting monsters alone. Seeing that Liu Kong had no intention of forming a team, everyone was a little disappointed, but when Liu Kong said that there might be equipment for sale, many people became excited. As long as there is money, you can buy equipment. Many people are more excited to fight monsters. The gray items you get can be sold in the village store. At that time, maybe you can buy a piece of equipment. The upgrade difficulty of this game is not low. Even with Liu Kong's efficiency, it took more than 3 hours to upgrade to level 2. After the upgrade, all 4 attributes were increased by 1 point. In addition, there are 2 free attributes that can be added. Liu Kong didn't even think about it and added strength to all 2 attributes. He now has good equipment and enough defense, but he lacks attack power. With high attack power, he will be much more efficient in fighting monsters. During this process, Liu Kong hit 4 small bags, and the backpack grid was much larger. Even so, because there were too many dropped equipment and backpacks, Liu Kong's backpack was soon full. He planned to go to the square to sell some first and clear the space in his backpack. When he arrived at the square, Liu Kong soon saw many people setting up stalls. He took a look and found that most of them were selling equipment. However, their equipment was of gray quality, and white was rare. Gray quality equipment also had no attribute bonus, but its defense was half that of white. It was okay for 1 piece, but if all the equipment was added together, it would be much less. For such equipment, others actually wanted to buy 5 silver coins. Liu Kong was a little dumbfounded, because the universe server has been connected to the Blue Star financial institution. Gold coins can be bought and sold on the trading platform in the game. And no one will find out. There are as many as 20 million people entering the game, and there is no shortage of rich people among them. Many rich people are collecting gold coins, and the price has reached the ratio of 1 copper coin to 1 blue star coin, and 1 silver coin is equal to 100 copper coins, which is equivalent to 100 blue star coins. A gray level 1 equipment can actually be sold for 500. This is simply outrageous, but this game affects the future of mankind after all. Liu Kong thought about it and felt that it was too late, so he took out the equipment and put all of them on the street for 6 silver coins. There were also 6 small bags. Liu Kong thought about it and put all of them on the street for 10 silver coins. Although this price may be lower than the value of the equipment and small bags themselves, but for Liu Kong, the most important thing now is time. He can drop equipment and small bags at any time, sell them earlier and empty the backpack, so he can continue to fight monsters and level up. Liu Kong, like other players in the square, started to sell white equipment, 10 grid backpack wholesale. Low price, hurry up. Hearing Liu Kong's words, the players in the square looked over. Chapter 5. May the Great Xia Army Spirit live forever. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What? There are white equipment. Backpack? What is a backpack? That everyone was talking about it, and many people squeezed over. after seeing the equipment and backpacks on Lu Kong's stall, many people were dumbfounded. Is it true? So many white equipment. Dozens of them? What's white equipment? Look at that small bag, it can actually add 10 slots to the backpack. This is simply a magical tool. There is such a thing. Isn't it? Don't demonized rats only drop gray materials? What are these? Everyone was talking about it, looking at Lu Kong in astonishment. Just then, a slender and handsome middle-aged man came over. He was wearing a tattered robe with a few patches on it. This is gray cloth armor equipment. Even in a tattered robe, the middle-aged man's aura is still strong. He glanced at the equipment on the stall, and a look of shock appeared in his eyes. Then he looked up at Lu Kong and said with a smile, "Young man, you are so lucky that you dropped so many equipment." Lu Kong smiled. "Do you want to buy it?" Seeing that Lu Kong was unmoved by his temptation, the middle-aged man said no more. As a businessman, he naturally has enough vision. With the impact of this game on the future, the young man in front of him can take out so many equipment at this time, and his future is definitely extraordinary. Such a person either make friends or kill him directly at once, and he is a businessman, and profit is his starting point. Of course, it is more beneficial for him to make friends, more roads. He smiled. "Let me introduce myself, my name is Lu Chang, chairman of Mtlnovel A Group." Lu Chang's introduction made the people around him change their faces and talk about it. Mtlnovel A Group? Isn't that one of the top 10 groups in the country? It's a big group that can be ranked in the top 30 in the world. I didn't expect it to be him. No wonder I feel familiar. I saw him in the news before. It's really Lu Chang. Fuck, Lu Chang is actually a public beta tester. Big news. Lu Kong was also happy when he heard Lu Chang's self-introduction. A big customer is here. Such a person should not be short of money, right? After all, he thinks there must be people who are short of money and trade copper coins directly through the game trading platform. Lu Kong smiled and said, "It turns out to be Mr. Lu. My name is Lu Kong. Nice to meet you." Lu Chang had a good attitude. "You're polite. I'm older than you, so I'm honored to call you Brother Lu. If you don't mind, you can call me Brother Chang." "How about it?" Lu Kong was stunned when he saw Lu Chang trying to build a relationship. When did he actually let the chairman of a large group ranked high in the world take the initiative to build a closer relationship with him? At work, even the boss of their small company bossed them around like cattle and horses. It was not until then that Lu Kong felt that life was completely different. When Lu Chang tried to build a relationship with him, Lu Kong naturally followed his lead. He smiled and nodded. "Brother Chang." "Okay." Lu Chang smiled, feeling a little surprised. In his opinion, making friends with Lu Kong this time was more valuable than discovering these equipment. He smiled and said, "I want all these equipment." "Brother Lu, your price is a bit too low. How about a higher price? Otherwise, I feel uneasy." Everyone. For a while, everyone was speechless. I just felt that Lu Chang was emitting a light that people couldn't look at directly. That was the light of money. They had learned a lot. It was the first time I saw someone bargaining for a higher price. This was outrageous. Even Lu Kong was a little confused. So many things are not cheap. This Brother Chang, who I just met, actually asked him to raise the price. How much did he receive from the trading platform? Lu Kong smiled. "Let's just take this price. People still have to be honest. How can we change the price of something clearly marked?" Hearing this, Lu Chang raised his eyebrows and looked at Lu Kong with a kinder look. "Business is about honesty. Brother Lu is right." Lu Chang smiled. "Then let's trade." Just then, a voice sounded, "Wait." Hearing this, Lu Chang frowned slightly. The transaction was interrupted, and he was a little dissatisfied. He turned his head and saw a tall young man walking over. The young man had a short haircut, and his gestures were swift and decisive. Lu Chang, who had seen countless people, was slightly shocked. Someone from the military. The short-haired young man came to Lu Chang and Lu Kong. He saluted the two of them. "Hello, Mr. Lu." "Hello, Mr. Lu. I am Wang Bing, the captain of the 7th team of the 3rd Legion of the Suanio Army." "Suanio Army?" Lu Chang frowned. "I have never heard of the Suanio Army in the Dacia military." Wang Bing grinned. It is normal that Mr. Liu has not heard of it. This is a new army formed by the military public testers today, only for the universe game. It is based on the Suanio's rebirth in the fire, aiming to allow Daxia to also be reborn in the game era. Hearing this, whether it is Lu Kong, Lu Chang or the players next to him, their faces changed slightly. Lu Chang smiled with relief. That's right. With your Majesty's great talent and strategy, how could you not see the road clearly? Lu Kong agreed in his heart, this world is different from his previous life. Daxia is an imperial empire, and the royal Xia family has ruled Daxia for more than 3,000 years. In each generation of the Xia family, outstanding people emerge, leading Daxia to go further. In every era of change, such as the Industrial Revolution, Daxia has always been at the forefront of the world. Now, Daxia and the Baron Empire are considered the two most powerful countries in the world. With a very high international status, the people of Daxia will be respected and treated favorably no matter where they go in the world. All the people of Daxia are proud of themselves. All of this was brought about by the majestic talents and strategies of successive Xia emperors and the guns and artillery of Daxia's powerful army. At this moment, the entire Yuan Xing is standing at the juncture of the new era, and the contemporary Emperor Xia will naturally not miss such an opportunity. The appearance of this Black Bird army is the most normal and reasonable thing, but no one expected that even people from the military would appear here. There were actually some wealthy people in the crowd, but when they saw Lu Chang appearing, they had already given up on the transaction. After all, they had no chance of winning against Lu Chang for money, but the military is different. The military represents the entire Daxia. For a moment, everyone was whispering. Even the military is getting involved. It looks like things are going to change. Yes, times have changed. With the intervention of Daxia's military, I'm afraid reality will also change. While everyone was talking in low voices, Lu Chang and Lu Kong both looked at Wang Bing. Captain Wang, what's the matter with you? Lu Chang said with a smile. Wang Bing said, Mr. Liu, our 7th team also needs to upgrade its equipment. Do you think you can give us some of it? Of course, we will not lose a penny of the money that should be given. Lu Chang sighed inwardly. He was indeed here, however, there was nothing he could do. These are extraordinary times and the military really needs equipment. If he doesn't agree at this stage, I'm afraid the higher-ups will come looking for trouble later. Of course, if you look at it on the bright side, the Liu family also has officials. This time it is given to Wang Bing, which is good news for the officials of the Liu family. Thoughts were racing in his mind and he made a decision quickly. Then he smiled and said, of course there is no problem. The military spirit of Daxia was born for the people of Daxia. As you become stronger, you can also protect Daxia in this era. As a citizen of Daxia, I can do it and of course it is my duty. After hearing this, Wang Bing breathed a sigh of relief. If Lu Chang insists on not giving it, given the status of the Liu family, there is nothing he can do to the other party. Fortunately, Lu Chang is a good person and can be dealt with. He said gratefully, in that case, thank you very much Mr. Liu. But I don't care, you have to ask Brother Liu for his opinion. Lu Chang waved his hand, indicating that he would not overwhelm the guest. Wang Bing quickly looked at Lu Kong with an expectant look on his face. Brother Liu, look. Lu Kong smiled, of course, no problem. I am also a citizen of Daxia. I also hope that Daxia will get better and better, and that the spirit of Daxia's army will be immortal. Chapter 6 The Liu Sisters. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lu Kong also had a favorable impression of the Daxia army. After all, he is also a part of Daxia. When it comes to selling equipment, Lu Kong is of course more inclined to the Daxia military. Wang Bing was moved and saluted Lu Kong and Lu Chang. Thank you both, Lu Chang said. In that case, I want 2 sets of cloth armor and 1 set of leather armor. I'll leave the rest to you, Captain Wang. After speaking, he explained with a smile, my 2 daughters have also entered the game, otherwise I only need a set of cloth armor. People on the side. They were a little confused. 3 beta testers in one family. What the hell kind of luck is this? Forget about the pervert Lu Kong. Is everyone now the European emperor? No, obviously I still have to be powerful. even Wang Bing twitched the corner of his mouth and said, "It would be great if our military had such good luck as Mr. Liu and the two ladies." In the huge Daxia army, only 30,000 people were qualified as public beta testers. The Black Bird army naturally only has 30,000 people. In Wang Bing's view, 30,000 people are completely insufficient. It's better to get another 3 million. Afterwards, the three completed the transaction. Needless to say, Lu Chang is rich and Daxia army certainly cannot be poor. The transaction went smoothly, with a total of just 40 pieces of white equipment, adding up to 240 silver coins. As for the 6 small bags, Lu Chang and Wang Bing each divided 3, which was another 60 silver coins. The total is 300 silver coins, which is 3 gold. According to the current ratio, it is 30,000 yuan. The land and air are a bit unreal, 30,000 yuan. He worked hard overtime for more than 3 months to earn so much money. Now it's earned in just a few hours. This is just the beginning. When he gets better equipment, he can sell it for more money. It won't be long before he can pay off his parents' debt. By then, Mom won't have to be so tired. Lu Kong let out a breath. After his father left, Lu Kong felt equally stressed. Now, he felt that the boulder pressing on his chest began to disappear little by little. After completing the transaction, Wang Bing looked at Lu Kong, hesitated, and said, "Brother Lu, I wonder if you are interested in joining the military." Lu Kong was startled, then shook his head. "I'm sorry, Captain Wang, I'm used to being idle. The military has too many rules and it's not suitable for me." If he joins the military, it means that he must tell the military information. Even though Lu Kong respects the Daxia army, Lu Kong doesn't dare to gamble when it involves his safety. Only when his strength is strong enough will he have the confidence to reveal his identity in reality. Hearing this, Wang Bing sighed, and he just invited with the mentality of giving it a try. He was not surprised at all by Lu Kong's rejection. After all, with the capabilities of the land and air forces here, one can still live well without joining the military. But what Lu Kong said next made Wang Bing happy. "Although I will not join the military, if there is any suitable equipment in the future, I will give priority to you." After hearing this, Wang Bing suddenly became excited. "Thank you very much. Brother Lu, you can't just focus on the military. Brother, I also need equipment." Lu Chang said with a smile. In fact, Lu Chang even wanted to establish a trade union, which required a lot of equipment. "Don't worry, Brother Chang, I won't forget you." Lu Kong smiled. After that, the three of them added friends and said goodbye to each other. After Lu Kong left, private messages kept ticking. "Boss, can you take me with you? Boss, give me some equipment. You've dropped a lot anyway, so you're not short of a few pieces, right?" There are even women sending extremely explicit messages. For example, he told me his measurements and even whether it was his first time. This made Lu Kong wonder. That is, photos cannot be posted in the game, otherwise these people would not directly post private photos, right? As a normal man, Lu Kong also likes beautiful women, but now that time is running out. He still plans to work hard to improve himself first and wait until he is more stable. In the end, Lu Kong was so annoyed by private messages that he set up a system to reject private messages from strangers. The world suddenly became clear. In a forest, 2 girls were practicing leveling. One of them was wearing worn-out leather armor, with his snow-white arms and thighs exposed to the air. His tall and slender figure was rugged and extremely hot. She held a long bow, her eyes were sharp, and her arrow hit the eye of the dark wild boar in the distance. The other person was wearing tattered robes and holding a staff. She was quiet and gentle, and as she waved her staff, a golden light arrow shot out, hitting the wild boar. Surprisingly, the faces of the 2 girls were exactly the same, equally delicate and beautiful. It's just that the expressions between the eyebrows are different. One is weird and the other is gentle and sweet. The girl holding a bow and arrow is named Lu Yueqing. The girl holding the staff is named Lu Yuexin. At this moment, Lu Yuexin stopped waving her staff and looked at the private message. Without Lu Yuexin's fire support, Lu Yuexin, who was struggling with the demonized wild boar, suddenly felt a lot more pressure. She shouted repeatedly, "Wow! Lu Yuexin! What are you doing? I'm going to die." Only then did Lu Yuexin come to her senses. She condensed 2 light arrows in succession and shot them at the demonized wild boar. the demonized wild boar suffered a heavy blow and fell to the ground wailing. Liu Yuexin smiled a little embarrassedly. Sorry, sister, it was a private message from Dad. He said he bought a set of equipment for us, and also brought weapons. She added, all white equipment. Hearing this, Liu Yuexing's eyes lit up. Wow! Did the old man go to rob? How could he buy so many white equipment? Liu Yuexin and Liu Yuexing were indeed very lucky, both of them activated their soul talents, and they were also in the same village. They teamed up to level up, and the efficiency was very high, but after killing so many monsters, Liu Yuexin also knew how difficult it was to get equipment. Now that Lu Chang said that he had prepared a whole set of equipment for them, you can imagine how surprised Liu Yuexin was. Liu Yuexin knew her sister's character, and she smiled gently. Don't you know what kind of person Dad is? How could he rob? I heard that he bought it from a young man. He also said that the young man was very lucky and all the equipment was obtained by him. Hearing this, Liu Yuexin was confused. One person got several sets of white equipment. Damn! What's wrong with this person? Even a European emperor can't be that outrageous, right? Liu Yuexin tapped Liu Yuexing's little head with her staff and scolded, don't say bad words. I don't know the specific situation. But Dad has already sent the equipment to us by email. It seems that there are 2 small bags that can increase storage space. One for each of us. Liu Yuexing, that she had a lot of questions in her mind. Monsters will drop that kind of thing. Liu Yuexing was extremely confused about the luck of the young man her old man talked about, and was also shocked. She couldn't wait to say, let's go back and get the equipment first. Liu Yuexing also nodded, and the two began to walk back. Chapter 7, Relying on Billions to Get Close to People. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After Lu Kong sold out the equipment, he withdrew 1 gold coin through the trading platform, which was 10,000 daxia coins. He plans to keep the remaining money in the game. After sharpening his sword, he chops wood quickly. Next, he needs to quickly upgrade monsters and improve efficiency, so that he can buy more equipment and earn more money. His method is to buy healing potions and directly take them to kill monsters. Although monsters also drop healing potions, there is still a gap in price compared to equipment. Of course, Lu Kong chose to drop designated equipment and small bags. After selling them, he went to the pharmacy to buy potions. The pharmacy is located on the east side of Novice Village. The store is small and has only 1 counter. Behind the counter is the pharmacy owner. It was a mature woman with silver skin, middle to upper class looks, and a ponytail. There were several players surrounding the counter, trying various methods to see if they could receive the mission. Lu Kong laughed secretly in his heart. These people have probably just entered the game. These aborigines are very cold, and they will ignore you, right? A young man approached the boss with a pitiful expression and tears streaming down his face. Boss, I found that you look very much like my deceased mother. Before he could finish his words, the boss slapped him in the face. Snapped. The young man turned 7.5 times in the air, flew out of the pharmacy, and landed sideways on the ground at the door. His body twitched a few times, then turned into white light and disappeared, died suddenly on the spot. The player who originally planned to use 12 skills to impress the boss looked at the boss, who withdrew his hand expressionlessly, and his eyes almost popped out of his head. Damn it! What kind of broken game is this? Can NPCs kill players? They were all numb and planned to leave the pharmacy. Can't afford to offend. Just then, they saw a handsome young man walking towards the boss. It was Lu Kong. A girl who looked young next to her saw Lu Kong's kind face and kindly reminded her, "Brother, don't go there, this boss will kill someone." Lu Kong was startled and smiled at the girl. It's okay. When the others saw this, they immediately stopped and refused to leave. They planned to watch the fun. Isn't this kid afraid of death? This crappy game is different from ordinary online games. I suspect that these NPCs may be real people, and they are also aliens, with high autonomy. I guess so. After all, the skin is silver, which is completely different from the humans of our Yuan star. If this kid makes the boss angry, he will probably be suspended. While everyone was watching the show, Lu Kong had already arrived in front of the boss. the boss just glanced at him and then withdrew his gaze. Lu Kong didn't care either. He raised the corners of his mouth, showed an evil smile like a domineering president, and slapped the 2 gold coins on the counter. "Boss, buy medicine." The entire pharmacy suddenly became silent. Several players looked at the 2 gold coins that Lu Kong slapped on the counter, and a question mark slowly popped up in their minds. The expression on the boss's face changes at a speed visible to the naked eye. Her originally ruthless expression turned into a sweet smile. "Oh, handsome boy, what medicine do you want to buy? How much?" But when several players saw the boss's change, their mouths opened slightly and their eyes almost fell off. What the hell? Can this still happen? No, there were players buying medicine just now. Why didn't the boss's expression change? You know nothing. Look how much money this brother brought out. 2 gold coins. That's 2 full gold coins. A middle-aged man's voice almost roared. He looked at the 2 gold coins and his eyes turned red. 2 gold coins is a full 20,000 yuan. The girl who spoke before widened her eyes and said blankly, "Could this be the legendary Ping Yijinren?" They looked at each other. Can even the aborigines not be able to resist the glory of money? How can this make these poor people feel embarrassed? Several people felt as if an arrow had been hit in their hearts, which stung extremely. Lu Kong smiled. "Buy the healing potion, 200 bottles. The pharmacies in Novice Village sell the most basic pharmacies. The same goes for healing potions. Apprentice healing potion, normal, immediately restores 80 health points after use, with a cooling time of 30 seconds. A bottle of potion can almost directly restore his blood to full, and it can be used once in 30 seconds. With this potion, there is almost no need to worry about the battery life of land and air. Anyway, he doesn't use skills much, his average A damage is high, and he doesn't waste much mana, just cut it all the way through. The only problem is that it is very expensive, requiring a full 80 coppers. Most people really can't afford it. However, Lu Kong has a huge sum of 2 gold and is not short of money. For efficiency, he bought 200 bottles directly. A total of 1 gold and 60 silver are required. However, these potions are enough for him to use for a long time. After hearing Lu Kong's words, the drugstore owner's eyebrows curved and his smile became sweeter. "Okay, the handsome guy is so cool," that she turned over her hands, counted out 200 bottles of healing potions and 40 silver coins, and placed them on the counter. In the backpack grid, 100 bottles of the same medicine occupy 1 grid, and 200 bottles occupy 2 grids in total. Lu Kong put away the healing potion and silver coins and said with a smile, "Boss, since I bought so many things, can I ask you a few questions?" The boss raised his eyebrows, looked at Lu Kong, and said with a smile, "Okay, ask, but I may not answer." Hearing this, the players next to him held their breath and stared at Lu Kong with wide eyes. The boss's attitude was really different from theirs. They couldn't help but whispered. "Sure enough, the rich are the boss." Yes, even such a cold aboriginal, isn't he a lot gentler now? But we also benefited from this big brother, and we can learn about the game information. After all, the Universe Online game has been silent since the public beta qualification was released, and there is no official website. They only know that this game is related to reality, and everyone on Yuanqing is in the dark about the specific situation. Now, they can finally know some of the situation. Lu Kong nodded and smiled. "Boss, let me ask the first question. Who are you? Data? Or real people?" Hearing this, the pharmacy owner looked at Lu Kong with a slightly strange expression, and asked with a smile, "What do you think?" Lu Kong didn't expect the pharmacy owner to ask him back. He was slightly stunned, but after thinking about it, Lu Kong quickly gave his answer, "Real people. Are you other races in the universe?" Half right. Half. Whether it was Lu Kong or others, they all showed a trace of astonishment. Not only Lu Kong, but others also thought that the natives in this village might be aliens. Now it seems that it may not be the case. "Then who are you?" Lu Kong asked again. We are just a wandering soul." The pharmacy owner smiled a little self-deprecatingly. Chapter 8 2 Opinions, 1 Piece of Advice. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A wandering soul. What do you mean? Lu Kong frowned and looked at the drugstore owner incomprehensibly. He was a little uncertain and asked, "Are you Aborigines dead?" The pharmacy boss looked at Lu Kong, then at the other players, and then seemed to be lost in memories. She smiled and said, "When you entered the space game, you should have been reminded by the space server, right? Demonic energy will invade reality." Lu Kong nodded, "Well, yes." The pharmacy owner smiled and said, "We were like this at the time. Once the demonic energy appears, there will only be more and more monsters appearing in reality. The monsters that appear in reality will become stronger and stronger. If you can't resist those monsters, what do you think will happen?" In the pharmacy, the air suddenly became extremely quiet. Whether it was Lu Kong or other players, they all held their breath at this moment. They've thought of that scenario, when monsters cannot be resisted, there is only one future: destroy. It seems that you know the consequences. Yes, our planet was swallowed up by the demonic energy. We people are quite lucky. Although our bodies were destroyed, our souls were taken in by the universe server, and we eventually became the indigenous people here. Lu Kong didn't expect that the answer given by the drugstore owner would be like this. I was a little distracted for a while, but after all, Lu and Kong reacted quickly. He took a deep breath. Originally, my goal was to make money, pay off the debts owed by my parents, and let my mother live a good life. Now it seems that I have to work hard to become stronger. Only if you are strong enough can you protect yourself and your loved ones when the evil energy invades next. Lu Kong secretly made up his mind, and then wanted to ask some more questions. However, he found that he had a dim view of the world, and for a moment he didn't even know what to ask. He thought for a while and said with a smile, "Boss, we should all be humanoids, right? We are of the same race. Can you give me your opinion? What should I do next?" The drugstore owner glanced at Lu Kong in surprise and said with a smile, "The handsome guy is very good, he is quite smart." She knew that humans on Yuanqing didn't know much about the entire world, and they didn't even know about demonic energy. The Yuanqing human in front of him knew where his shortcomings were and directly asked her to provide advice. This was undoubtedly a very smart approach. The drugstore owner smiled. "Actually, you don't have much to do. I think you like it, so I'll give you two opinions. First, get to level 10 as soon as possible. You can advance to level 10. When you challenge, choose high difficulty challenges as much as possible, so that after you advance, your strength will exceed that of ordinary people." Lu Kong nodded and kept the advancement in mind. The second opinion is also related to advancement. There are currently 4 cosmic races in the Orion Novice continent, and the resources of the entire continent are limited. For the sake of your own planet and race, of course you must first improve the strength of your race. This requires competition for resources. After a player of a race reaches the first level, his race will be eligible for the second public beta, and more players of that race will enter the game. In this way, in the future, the 4 races will be eligible. There will be a big advantage when competing for resources. The drugstore owner thought for a while and said seriously, "Remember, the invasion of reality by demonic energy requires the concerted efforts of all members of a race to resist it. I have been in the game for so many years and have seen too many races. Due to the consumption of civil war, their final strength has been reduced. Great loss, swallowed up by the evil spirit. I hope you Yuanqing humans will not follow this old path." Lu Kong nodded thoughtfully. Of course he understood the root of human inferiority. Internal conflicts are always inevitable, but there is nothing he can do about this kind of thing now. Let's wait until he is strong enough. What he can do with his current ability is to provide some equipment to the Daxia military and some high-level officials as much as possible. In this way, when the demonic energy invades in the future, Daxia will have some strength to resist it. Okay, these are the 2 opinions. In the final analysis, it's just one thing. Upgrade your level first. Oh. By the way, I'll give you another piece of advice. If you complete some achievements in the game, there will be special rewards. You should be of your race. You are an outstanding person and your soul talent may not be bad. You may be able to achieve some achievements and use your talents to the best of your ability. Don't wait until your planet is swallowed up by the evil spirit before you regret it in the end. After hearing what the drugstore owner said, Lu Kong felt a lot more stressed. He nodded solemnly. "Thank you boss for reminding me, I will do it." After saying that, he smiled. "Boss, I'm going to work. I'll come back to take care of your business next time." "Oh, by the way, do you have a task for me?" The drugstore owner glanced at Lu Kong and smiled coldly. "With your strength, you can't complete the task given to you." Lu Kong. He is also a guest after all, but he is so disrespectful. He smiled helplessly. "Okay, then when I am strong enough, I will come back to you." After saying that, Lu Kong turned and left. When passing by a few dumbfounded players, Lu Kong hesitated for a moment and said, "Did you hear what I said just now? You can also spread those two opinions and a piece of advice. In this way, our Yuanqing only players can have enough pressure. There is motivation only when there is pressure." Several players woke up from a dream. They looked at Lu Kong with a hint of respect in their eyes. Even the well-informed drugstore owner said that Lu Kong was an outstanding person among their Yuanqing humans. Such a person will definitely have an extraordinary future. Moreover, he also let them listen to the game information here for free. Just for this demeanor, they will be convinced. A middle-aged player nodded with a serious expression and said, "Okay, big brother, we will spread it." Lu Kong nodded and turned to leave. On the way, Lu Kong thought about it and sent a private message to Wang Bing and Lu Chang about what the pharmacy owner had just said. They are both people of status in reality, especially Wang Bing. If he reports it, Emperor Xia will definitely pay attention to it with his great talent and strategy. As for how the two of them react, Lu Kong can't control it. He has to continue to upgrade. Set a small goal for yourself, upgrade to level 10 as soon as possible. Then complete the highest level of job transfer. Daxia Palace, Shenwu Hall. Emperor Xia sat on the throne, looking at the ministers who were silent below. His face was calm, but his eyes contained unimaginable majesty. They are waiting for information about the game. As soon as the public beta quota of the universe game was released, Emperor Xia ordered people to count all the great Xia troops who had obtained the public beta quota and established the Suanio army. The Suanio army also entered the game as soon as possible. They have two purposes. One is to improve their strength in the game, the second is to obtain all the information in the game. From the moment the Suanio army entered the game, Emperor Xia summoned all officials to the court. Everyone was waiting in the Shenwu Hall, waiting for the news in the game to come out, and the officials and Emperor Xia would analyze and make corresponding countermeasures together. At this moment, 2 hours had passed, and 4 hours had passed in the game. It was close to midnight, and Emperor Xia set an example. Even if the officials were tired, they dared not complain. At this moment, a tall man rushed in. "Your Majesty, the Suanio army has sent the latest information." Hearing this, Emperor Xia was shocked. President. Chapter 9 Times have changed. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The information was handed to Emperor Xia by the attendant. He spread it out and read it carefully word for word. After reading the information, Emperor Xia held it tightly and frowned slowly. The entire Shenwu palace was audible for a moment. Seeing Emperor Xia's frown, all the officials looked at each other and did not dare to make a sound. At this moment, Emperor Xia handed the information in his hand to the attendant at the side. "Read it out." The attendant coughed and opened the information to read it out, but after seeing the contents of the information, the attendant's eyes widened. His expression was a little stunned, and he was stunned for a moment. "Huh?" Emperor Xia frowned and looked at the attendant. The attendant came back to his senses, and he quickly began to read out the information. It was the information Lu Kong had obtained from the pharmacy owner before, including the pharmacy owner's source, the opinions and advice given by the pharmacy owner. All the ministers listened, breathing rapidly and exclaiming again and again. After the attendant finished reading, the entire Shenwu palace fell into silence again. Emperor Xia calmly said, "My dear friends, what do you think of this information?" That everyone looked at each other, and no one answered for a while. Emperor Xia called his name, Nangong Zhu. Nangong Zhu is the white-haired old man standing at the front. Although he is old, his eyes are not cloudy at all and are as clear as a baby's. This person is the Prime Minister of Daxia. He stood up, cupped his hands and said, "Your Majesty, if this news is true, the measures we have taken before are probably not enough. Next, both official functions and education need to make corresponding reforms." "But the old man, I have a question, is this news true?" This is too shocking. Emperor Xia looked at the man who sent the information. Wang Yi, you sent the information. You can tell me. Wang Yi stepped forward with a serious expression. This news came from Quanzi Wangbing. He met an extremely powerful player in Novice Village. It is said that this player has a very high drop rate. In just a few hours, he actually obtained several 10 pieces of white equipment. What? This is impossible. Get dozens of pieces of white gear in a few hours. Are you kidding me? Before Wang Yi finished speaking, the minister beside him shouted, they have been in the Shenwu temple for so long. Although they have not entered the game, they still have a certain understanding of the drop rate in the game through the information passed on. Obtaining dozens of pieces of white equipment in a few hours was completely different from the drop rates they knew. Even Emperor Xia couldn't help but frown, a little unbelievable, but he glanced at the other ministers and said slowly, quiet. Many ministers fell silent. Emperor Xia looked at Wang Yi. You continue. Wang Yi's expression was calm. I also know that some of my colleagues don't believe it. To be honest, I didn't believe it at first, but I still know Quanzi's temperament. He will not make mistakes on such a big matter. That player seems to have the sole talent that improves luck, is why the drop rate is so high. After hearing this, many ministers were a little stunned, but they also frowned. Those present did not particularly approve of such an illusory thing as luck, but they also know the information about soul talent. This thing is completely unreasonable. Quincy reported that the player obtained this information from the pharmacy owner among the Aborigines through some method. In my opinion, the authenticity of the information should be related to the attitude of the Aborigines towards us. However, according to the information we have learned before, this information should be true. After Wang Yi finished speaking, everyone fell silent. The air in Shenwu Palace was quiet again. Emperor Xia slowly said, be prepared for a rainy day, and we will treat this information as true. In this case, Nangong Zhu, what changes do you think should be made next? Nangong Zhu was silent for a moment and then said, if this is really the case, I propose to establish an official department to deal with the invasion of demonic energy. It is best to invite players from the civilian population to join. This will not only facilitate the management of players, but also prevent those who have mastered powerful power. The emergence of careerists among the common people has caused social unrest. In addition, if it is true as the intelligence says, the importance of this game is far beyond our imagination, we should start from the education point of view. Starting from elementary school, we should set up courses about the game, and also encourage civilians to understand the corresponding game intelligence, so that when the second open beta comes, our common people in Daxia can take the lead. After Nangong Zhu finished speaking, he returned to his seat. Emperor Xia nodded and continued, if you have any other opinions, please feel free to speak freely. Many ministers immediately started talking. Emperor Xia listened quietly to everyone's words. His expression was as calm as water, and the majesty he exuded inadvertently was as dark as a prison. Wu Yi, immediately deploy and establish a player management bureau, collect player information, treat players with a gentle attitude, and invite them to join the official. Those who are unwilling to join, just need to register. Also, if there are players who commit crimes, they should be arrested as soon as possible and given heavy penalties. This will serve as a warning to others. As you command. Wang Yi, notify all major military regions to increase their precautions. If monsters appear, deal with them as soon as possible. Monsters that appear in the city can be dealt with in cooperation with the players in the Player Management Bureau. Yes. Emperor Xia issued orders one by one in an orderly manner, discussed various possibilities with the ministers to deal with emergencies. After arranging everything, Emperor Xia rubbed his forehead slowly. He thought of something, looked at Wang Yi, and asked, can the player who obtained this information be found? Wang Yi smiled bitterly. We only know his name, Lu Kong, but your majesty, you also know that we have made many attempts. Player information cannot be found through real means. They have tried it when the game just came. As long as the player does not reveal information in reality, they cannot find out the player information even through population information survey. It's as if all the existence of this person in reality has been erased. Emperor Xia slowly exhaled and nodded, I know. Even he felt a little powerless and sighed. it's worthy of being a universe game. Your Majesty, you are tired too, why don't you take a rest first? The attendants and ministers looked at the tired Emperor Xia with some concern. Emperor Xia hesitated and said, in that case, let's take a break for an hour. Those who need to do things should do their work. Everyone nodded. Emperor Xia stood up and left. After leaving the Shenwu Palace, Emperor Xia came to a palace as soon as possible. The palace was heavily guarded at this moment. Seeing Emperor Xia coming, the leading soldier saluted hurriedly. Greetings, Your Majesty. Emperor Xia nodded and walked in. In a room in the palace, a beautiful girl was wrapped in white light, floating in the air above the bed. There was also a rune ring on her snow-white left wrist. Beside the girl, there was an equally beautiful mature woman sitting, looking at the girl with some worry. Seeing Emperor Xia come in, the woman stood up to greet him. Your Majesty. How is Yenner? She didn't wake up after entering the so-called game. There is a protective film on her body, and I can't touch her. Hearing this, Emperor Xia nodded slightly. The woman said with some worry, Yenner is really something. Let the soldiers try to enter the game first, and then she will go in. Isn't it better? We don't know anything about this so-called game. It's too dangerous. Emperor Xia stared at Xia Yan deeply and said slowly, you don't understand. He put his hands behind his back and turned his head to look at the stars outside the window. Doesn't Yenner know the danger? It's just that the rule book of this game shows that our great Xia, which has been passed down for more than 3,000 years, has encountered the greatest disaster. Times have changed. Yenner is the only public beta tester of my Xia family. She is fighting for our Xia family and for our people of Great Xia. Times have changed. Xia Yan's mother Hua Fei was a little confused. Yes, times have changed. Emperor Xia's expression was calm, but his eyes flickered. However, no matter how times change, the principle of power supremacy will not change. Yenner knows this better than you. Yenner. Hua Fei looked at the beautiful girl lying on the bed, her face full of worry and complicated expression. Emperor Xia clenched his fists. As the Emperor of Daxia and the leader of the people of Daxia, he did not have a place in the public beta test. In such a turbulent tide of the times, he did not know whether he could lead Daxia to go further. He did not know whether he could shelter the people of Daxia from the wind and rain again. He exhaled slightly, turned his head to look at Xia Yan, and said to himself, Yenner, when you wake up, the 30,000 Suanio army will be your strongest backing. Chapter 10 Green Equipment. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After the supply was completed, Lu Kong left the village again. This time, Lu Kong's target was no longer the demonized rats in the farmland. As a level 2 master, the level 1 small black rats could no longer meet Lu Kong's needs. His strong desire to fight urged him to find a stronger opponent, so Lu Kong went to the forest behind the farmland. There were many wild dogs wandering in the forest. These wild dogs were about the size of Samoyeds, with black bodies, red eyes, and pale teeth as sharp as knives. Demonized wild dog, level 2. Life, 120. Attack, 7. Introduction. Originally an ordinary wild dog, after being eroded by the magic energy, it became a violent and bloodthirsty demonized wild dog. Lu Kong couldn't help grinning when he saw the information of the wild dog. It is indeed a level 2 monster, much stronger than the level 1 big black rat. However, for Lu Kong, it is still possible to deal with it. He is now fully equipped, plus there are so many blood medicines, and he can't beat it, so he might as well find a piece of tofu to kill himself. Lu Kong did not go up directly, but opened the drop list as usual. The items dropped by the demonized wild dogs are also white and gray. Lu Kong set his eyes on the weapons in the list. Rusty greatsword, normal, attack +6, required level, 2. Drop rate, 0.8%, compared with the level 1 rusty greatsword. It has 1 point higher attack, so it can be replaced. Let's go. Lu Kong encouraged himself and then rushed up to fight. The attack of the demonized wild dog is a little higher than that of the demonized rat, and it can hit Lu Kong 4 points of blood each time. However, Lu Kong's current attack is much higher than before, and he killed the demonized wild dog in 2 or 3 strokes. In total, only more than 20 points of blood were lost. Every time he killed 3, Lu Kong took a bottle of potion, and his blood was immediately restored. After Liu Kong killed a group of demonized wild dogs and replaced all his equipment, his defense was improved again, the blood loss was reduced to 2 points each time, this made Liu Kong's endurance higher, he held a big sword, like a god of war, and killed all the wild dogs in the pack. However, the hatred range of the demonized wild dogs is wider than that of the demonized rats. If you are not careful, you may attract 2 or 3 demonized wild dogs to attack at the same time. Liu Kong once accidentally attracted 3 of them, which almost killed him on the spot. Fortunately, the cooldown time of the blood bottle was good, otherwise, he might have to give up his first blood. The penalty for death is that you can't play the game for an hour, which will seriously slow down the pace of upgrading. This made Liu Kong sweat coldly. After that, Liu Kong became much more stable, and he carefully attracted 1 to fight each time. There are not many players in the demonized wild dog area. Those who can play in the level 2 monster area are basically the more powerful teams at the current stage. Seeing Liu Kong playing alone and with such high efficiency, they were all dumbfounded. Fuck, what kind of god is that guy? His efficiency in killing monsters alone is almost the same as our 3-man team. Nonsense, look at his blood bottles, he keeps eating. And he has a full set of equipment. 1 blood bottle is 80 coppers, 1 blood bottle is 80 coppers. A middle-aged man with the vicissitudes of life kept muttering the price of blood bottles. His expression was unbelievable. That's 80 yuan. How can he waste it like this? Is this how rich people play games? The middle-aged man was extremely envious. No, this is the point you pay attention to. Isn't it that this person can drop white items every time? A girl couldn't help but speak. Others also reacted. Yes. What's the reason for this person? Why does every monster drop something, and it's all white? A young man from a small team next to him was thoughtful. I heard that there is an outrageous person in our novice village. Every time he kills a monster, he will drop something, and it must be white. I didn't believe it at first, but now it seems to be him. Every time he kills a monster. And it must be white. Is this outrageous? It's outrageous. It's outrageous to the extreme. Okay, that when the others heard what the young man said, they were all numb. So, why is the gap between people so big? When everyone was numb, Liu Kong suddenly stopped. He looked at a demonized wild wolf in front of him, and his eyes showed astonishment, because the first item on the drop list of this wild wolf was green. Wild dog leather clothes, excellent, leather armor, defense plus 15, agility plus 1, required level, 2. Drop rate, 0.004%. A level 2 leather armor actually has 15 points of defense. It's comparable to the level 2 male armor he is wearing now. It's outrageous. And it also adds 1 point of agility. For agile professions, it is simply a small artifact in the early stage. As for the drop rate, it's probably impossible for others to get it even after playing for years, right? Liu Kong grinned and immediately specified the wild dog leather jacket to drop. Then he rushed forward with a big sword, fearing that someone would snatch it from him. A few swords killed the demonized wild dog, and the green light ball slowly rose. The players nearby saw the green light ball, all of them widened their eyes and looked shocked. The air was silent for a while. The next moment, a young man jumped up, his eyes red. Fuck. Green. It's green. Others also reacted. They rushed over one by one. Brother. Look at the attributes. Look at the attributes. Brother, are you selling it? Are you selling this equipment? I can pay directly, cash. As high-end players, they did not ask for help like other players. Instead, they wanted to see the attributes first, and some people asked if they would sell it. Liu Kong looked at the people who were expecting it, and he did not hide it. He posted the attributes of the wild dog leather jacket. Everyone was silent after seeing the attributes. The next moment, a girl in a leather jacket said faintly, "Why can't we rob in this broken game?" Liu Kong. He looked at the girl who was talking speechlessly. Your idea is a bit dangerous. Several people on the side also smiled bitterly. To be honest, I also want to rob it. This attribute is too good. My gray leather armor only adds 7 points of defense. This is more than double what I added, and it also adds 1 point of agility. I'm crying. Brother, tell us a number, how much, we will buy it. A middle-aged man looked at Lu Kong and said. Lu Kong shook his head, I don't use cash transactions, only gold coins. Just kidding, if I use cash transactions, I need a bank card. That would be considered as leaking information. The server will not help him protect privacy, he is not very strong yet, so it is better to keep a low profile. In reality, in the game, you can directly exchange gold coins for money on the trading platform, why bother? The middle-aged man was disappointed when he heard this. He also read the rule book and knew that he could not convince Lu Kong. It's a pity, we don't have so many gold coins. Forget it. Lu Kong shrugged. Whether they really don't have so many gold coins, or they have ideas about him in reality, Lu Kong doesn't care anyway, he just needs to keep his flaws. You can't have the intention to harm others, but you must be on guard against others. As for whether to sell this equipment. Of course Lu Kong plans to sell it. After all, Lu Kong is a warrior, agility does not benefit him much. As for defense, the chain mail he is wearing is no worse than this leather armor. It is not very useful to him. Selling it for money is of course the best choice. He opened a private chat and invited Lu Chang and Wang Bing to open a chat room. Lu Chang and Wang Bing agreed almost immediately. Before the two of them could speak, Lu Kong directly sent the information of the wild dog leather jacket. Lu Chang. Wang Bing.